Hi guys, I'm Chantel and welcome back to another monthly TBR choosing video. Now, I've got a few different things going on today. Instead of my normal Care Bears prompt cards that I've been using for my TBR, I put up a video a little while ago asking for, giving a few different awesome TBR game ideas that I have seen online. And I asked your opinions on which one you think I should try for this month. And honestly, the answers were variety and all over the place. Some of you guys didn't want me to change at all, but I like change. I like trying things that are different and trying new things. So I'm going to try one of those games this month, and the one that I chose is Bookopoly. Now, I got this idea from Becca and All the Books, I believe. I'll leave her channel linked below. Yeah, I don't know, it was one of the more fun games. I took my prompts, my Care Bear card prompts, and I actually put them right onto the Bookopoly board. So there's not a whole lot of change that way. Also, a really cool thing, I got my 9-year-old daughter to draw pictures for the prompts. So let's see here. So all the little drawings there on the bottom or around the edges are thanks to her. I can't even draw a stick person, so I had to depend on my 9-year-old to help me with this, and actually she had so much fun with it. She went and made a mini version of Bookopoly for herself, so that's gonna be really fun. So whenever she finishes a book, she plans on rolling the dice and then seeing what book she picks next. Okay, that is my minor quick intro. I'm going to show you around the board in a minute or so here, but I wanted to add a few more books to my cart. So I have a stack here, which I think you can see a little bit of. I'm just going to show you which books I'm adding, and then I will quickly put them where they belong. So I've got an Agatha Christie because I got to read all her books. So this one is Passenger to Frankfurt. I have Keeper of the Lost Cities. This one is book 3 because that's where I'm at in the series. This Present Darkness, technically this one is a reread, but I haven't read it since high school, so it's about time I reread it. And I recently thrifted that, so that's cool. The World is Our Classroom. This is a non-fiction book about a family who did a lot of traveling and schooled their kids that way. This one I got in my birthday haul. Then I have The Huntress by Kate Quinn, who wrote the Alice Network. I recently hauled this, and afterwards I realized I said I hadn't read the Alice Network, and the truth is I actually had started it and I DNF'd it, so I didn't remember that when I bought this book, but now I kind of have low expectations for this one. Then I have Incarceron, which I believe is a YA fantasy book that I've heard good things about. Safely Home, which is a persecuted church in China fiction book, I believe. This was also part of my recent thrift haul. And this one, Room, a lot of people had a lot of good things to say about that one. This one is The Falconer. This was totally a cover buy from the thrift store. Wolf Hollow is a middle grade book that I bought because of the cover, and I don't really know anything about it. And then the last one I'm going to add is The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. I recently thrifted this one as well. The first book in the series is The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, and this one is book 2. So I'm going to quickly add all of those to the cart, and then we will do a Bookopoly board tour. Okay, I just got those in there. So one of the things I wanted to make sure that I could do for something like Bookopoly or one of the TBR games is to make sure I could record it well, I guess. So I do have my phone here, and I'm going to do a top down while this is still recording so that I don't have to do, all my rolls, record those beforehand and then show you what I've chosen. We're going to do this all live together. But first I want to show you around the board. Now, should I do that from above? Probably from above. So I'll get that set up. Okay, so this is my board. Here's what we're going to do. I'll show you around here. So let's just go into the prompts. So I've got go to the most anticipated book on the cart, so I can just pick the books I'm most excited about there. Library book. These here are community, my take on community chest, actually. And what I've done is I have written down some of the books that people have told me that they are most excited for me to read off of my TBR cart. So I have like actual specific books listed on there. Then I've got series set on a different continent, a tome, so something 500 pages or more, female author. Here, this is Chance. And all I did for Chance was I just like put a letter on a couple of different carts, and I will read a book that starts with that letter. Number in the title, low star prediction, and Agatha Christie, because she gets her own. An illustrated cover, something under 200 pages, highest rated, so I'll go to my Goodreads TBR list and I'll look from there. A kid pick, we've got fantasy, seasonal vibes, so something for the season that we're currently in, back to community chest, one word title, middle grade, a gifted book, random number, chance again, nonfiction, creepy, Christian, lowest rated, Canadian, so either Canadian author or set in Canada, a most recent purchase, classic, thrifted, an award winner, random author. I will put the letters in random letter generator, community again, pretty cover, historical fiction or nonfiction, chance, I'll get my husband to pick a book, one that is also a movie or a mystery book. And then I'm going to be using my little llama magnet bookmark here to go around. So because this is for August, I am going to be picking, I think I've been doing 6 books. Have I been doing 6 books? In months that have 31, but I've been reading so much lately, and I thought because this is different, I'm probably going to do 7 books. Yeah, why not? Let's just go crazy. But before I even start with that, this month I did something different. I have a bookish newsletter, which I don't think I've ever actually talked about here, but it's always linked in the description below. So about twice a month or so, I send out an email with all sorts of bookish things when I find like good deals online, all sorts of different things. But I wanted to give more jazz to those newsletters. So what I did this month is I let people pick a book off of my TBR cart for me to read. So I gave 4 options of books that are on my TBR cart, and people got to go and cast their vote as to which one I should read. So I'm going to grab my computer and we will see which one we want. Okay, so here are the 4 books that I let people choose from. They were The Great Alone. Of course, I just like refilled this so it's full. The Great Alone. I think the rest are on the other side. Was it Educated? No, I did 8033, Illuminate, and A Gentleman in Moscow. Of course, I have to get these back in here, whichever ones didn't get picked. Okay, so I had those 4 books, and people got to vote on which one of these 4 they wanted me to read. So I'm gonna pull up the results here. Oh, okay. Well, at 38.9%, A Gentleman in Moscow is going to be the first book on my TBR this month. So if you want to have a voice in which book my newsletter subscribers pick for me next month, then sign up for that email list. It's linked below. Yeah, and I will pick out like 4 or 5 books for next month that will go on there, and you can cast your vote. So this one is a historical fiction about a man who is on like house arrest, but in a hotel, I think. And I don't really know much more than that. Yeah, so I'm curious how this one is. So these other ones will go back on the cart. Okay, so there's book 1. And now we are gonna start rolling for 7 books. Now I hear the little one crying, so this might have to get paused. Okay, the little one is back asleep, at least hopefully. and hopefully this is recording. I've got my dice, I've got my llama. One other thing to mention is I'm still doing the Read Your Bookshelf challenge that I created at the beginning of the year, and the prompt for August is to read a fantasy book. So I'm going to see if, with the 7 books that I'm going to pick out here yet, if I can find a fantasy book to fit the prompt that shows up. Okay, so let's just give this a try here. First roll. Whew, I'm kind of nervous. For some reason, this makes me more nervous than just picking cards. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A number in the title. Okay, I've had this come up before, and I think I read... Did I read 80-30 then? No, I think I read an Agatha Christie that had a number. So 80-33 is an option. Probably missing, like, you know, some big ones in front of me here. I don't see any other numbers here. Pi. Is pi a number? I mean, like, pi is a number, but it says PI, so I'm just going to avoid that one for as long as possible. There is 7 men and 7 women. I forget the rest of the title. It's wedged in here. I think that's pretty much it. So this one or the 7 men and 7 women something something something. So I will go with this one. I read the first book in the series, which is 80-30, in May, I believe. And yeah, finished this series out. So, first roll. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's go for another one. 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fantasy. Ah, that works out perfectly. Okay, I'm gonna spin this around. So, I just put Incarceron on here. That's an option. I also just put Keeper of the Lost Cities on here, which is another option. And I mean, I have lots of other options. Kind of want to read this one because of the cover. A Curse So Dark and Lonely. That's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Would that count as fantasy? There's also A Darker Shade of Magic. Okay, I'm gonna pick between these 4. A Darker Shade of Magic, The Falconer, Keeper of the Lost Cities, and Incarceron. Okay. I think I'm gonna save this one and not pick this one for no particular reason, honestly. Kind of want a continuous series. I really like this cover, but I really don't think the book is going to be that great. I don't, because I've never heard of it. But I also want to read a B.E. Schwab book. The decisions. I'm really struggling with this one. I want to read all of them. I am going to pick this one, A Darker Shade of Magic, because it has been on my top cart shelf, which is technically my most anticipated, and it's been there for a long time. So that is what I'm going to go with. And then hopefully these other ones I can get to soon. That was 2 books, and that included my fantasy that I needed to fit in. Okay, 8. I never did decide if I should do something different if doubles came up. Let's see where this goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nonfiction. Okay, we'll figure out what I'm doing for nonfiction, and then we will decide what doubles means. Because nonfiction is, okay, there's educated. Most of my nonfiction is on this other side. This is mostly nonfiction in here, with some definite fiction sprinkled in there. I think I'm gonna pick up George Mueller. George Mueller is one of my favorite Christian missionaries, I guess. I took the dust jacket off years ago. I bought this book probably like 10 years ago and have never read it. Yeah, so he started an orphanage back in, I have no idea what year, 150 years ago, maybe 200 years ago. And he never raised funds. He always just prayed that God would provide. And they have crazy stories of like a milk cart, like a milkman's cart breaking down in front of the orphanage, and he needed, you know, he gave them all the milk, and crazy stories like that. So it's about time I read this one. Hopefully it's written well. Biographies can be hit and miss, so hopefully this is done well. So doubles, like, do I just make myself read an extra book? I kind of want to. I just want to like push myself. So that was my third roll, and this is like 3.5. So 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A classic. Oh, this is going downhill fast. Oh, here's my classics up here. I think I have to pick a short classic if I'm going to be reading so many books, or an easy to read classic. So I got some poetry, but I actually think this one might be the classic that I want to go with. This is The Blue Castle by L.M. Montgomery. Everyone says this is like their favorite book by her. Do I have any other classics? The other option would be The Lost World. This is Arthur Conan Doyle, who wrote Sherlock. But this is like sci-fi or something like that, I think? Yeah, populated by dinosaurs and murderous ape men. Murderous ape men, or The Blue Castle, which is at 29. Valancy has never been in love, and it seems like romance has passed her by. Living with her overbearing mother and meddlesome aunt, she finds her only consolations in the forbidden books of John Foster and her daydreams of the Blue Castle. Huh. Let's go for font size. Oh, they're both the same. Okay, well, I'm going to try this one because I've heard so many good things about it, but I do want to get to this one eventually. So that was roll 3.5. Now for roll 4. And the kid's crying again. Okay, let's try this again. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A mystery book. Okay, mystery is mostly over here. So I could do an Agatha Christie. Just put this one here. I love this. I found this at a thrift store a long time ago. I love that vintage jacket. Oof. Let's throw this one down here. There's The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. And then I have another #1 Ladies Detective Agency book. And then a couple more Agatha Christie. Ooh. This one's a Miss Marple Agatha Christie. Maybe I will try this one. Agatha Christie at Bertram's Hotel. Miss Marple Mystery. An old-fashioned London hotel is not quite as reputable as it makes out to be. Okay, we will give this one a try. Agatha Christie has yet to disappoint me, and they're quick reads, and my stack is looking huge already. So let's go with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls, and I'm doing 7. I think. I really don't remember how many rolls I said at the beginning of the year that I was going to do, or like how many prompts I was going to pick, but whatever. Let's go for number 5 here. Oh, another 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A low star prediction. So So for the most part, that's half of the books on this bottom shelf here. Well, I'm not picking up Gone with the Wind. I just need to move this one. There's this one, which is a Queen of Egypt. Nefertiti is a woman set to marry a pharaoh, apparently. There is Barbara Kingsolver's The Poisonwood Bible. I picked this one up because it is set in Congo, and I want to read more African books set in Africa, really. And then seriously, these are like wedged in here. And there's also Victoria, which I bought because I think this has had a decent amount of time in the spotlight, but I don't really like this kind of book. I think I'm gonna give this one a try because this is Egyptian historical fiction, which is not something I have ever even tried to read. So Nefertiti, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Bookish problems. Does anyone else have this? I can read words, but I can't speak them. I don't know how to pronounce so many words because all I ever did as a child is read in my head. And obviously I didn't have people reading out loud to me enough. Yeah, so I can't talk, but I can read. Oh, I guess I could have also picked The Life of Pi. I honestly didn't see it there. I wasn't specifically avoiding that one, but that is one I do have low hopes for. Or low expectations, maybe? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So number 6. How many 10s am I gonna get here? So I know it's going over here to middle grade. Okay, and middle grade is mostly this bottom shelf over here. That gives me another chance with Keeper of the Lost Cities. This poor book is just getting moved around. I also really want to read Ban this book. I tried a chapter of it, I think in March, and that sounded really cute. Yeah, you know, maybe because of what I already have, I should go with this one because it's thinner. I also really want to read Wish, but I think I'm putting this on our homeschool read aloud list for this year, so we're gonna probably read this one together. So yeah, Ban this book. I think it's about a girl who finds out one of her favorite books has been banned from her school library, and so she starts a little library in her locker. And yeah, I really liked when I read the books on the list here in the back. It says Amy Ann's Banned Books Locker Library, and a lot of them are books that I read in childhood, like Harriet the Spy, From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. Yeah, so I just want to read this one. And then I think I have one more roll left. A final roll unless I get a double. Okay, 5, so 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Most recent purchase. Okay, most recent purchase that's on my cart. Would probably be one of the books I recently thrifted. So this one or this one. What else did I put on here from that? Oh, or there's Room or Safely Home. Oh, okay. There's actually quite a few. So there's these two. There's Safely Home, Room, The Huntress, This Present Darkness. I bought those all at the same store or at the same thrifting adventure. But I may as well just go with one of these because these keep coming up. This one keeps getting in the way, as much as I actually really want to read this one. I kept having to move it around the cart, so maybe we will try The Falconer. of rounds this out pretty well, I think. We'll go with that one. So, put this one back. When I put the stacks actually together, that's when it's starting to look a little intimidating, because yeah, like that's a lot. But last month one of my books was like that thick, and oh, you know what, that just reminds me, apparently the stack is a little too big. One of my goals for this year is to read a tome every month, which is a book that is 500 pages or more. At least that's what I've decided to be the definition. And like, there's a couple of these that are like 450 plus pages, but none that are 500. So that might be a problem. I might end up picking up Keeper of the Lost Cities or something for that prompt, because it's a thick book, but it's not a hard to read thick book. Yeah, so come back in August to check out my August reading vlogs. I think I will probably be doing them about every 10 days. That's what I've been doing for July, and it's been working out really well. Obviously, I got a lot of books to talk about, and I see no reason as to why I won't get through all of these. So, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of Bookopoly. I don't know if this was just a one-time thing. I don't know if I'll do this again. I do have a really cool idea for TBRs in the future, but that might be a few months down the road yet. And if you want to have a say in which books I include in my TBRs, for that newsletter pick, then subscribe to my newsletter, which is linked below, and you will get the option to vote on one of the books that will be on my TBR. Thanks for watching, guys. Like always, let me know what you're reading and which book you're most excited for me to read this month.